A few years back, a woman named Carol brought her Pomeranian into my clinic, sweet little dog named Ginger. And Carol was doing everything right. She was one of those owners who reads labels, asks questions, keeps every appointment, the kind of owner every vet loves to see walk through the door. But that day, Ginger's belly was bright red, inflamed, so tender that this poor little dog would flinch when anyone touched her, and Carol was almost in tears because she couldn't figure out what happened. No new food, no new treats, nothing different at all. Except one thing, a bath. A simple, ordinary bath, with a shampoo bottle that had the words gentle and natural printed right there on the front. I'm Dr. Evan Park. I've been a veterinarian for over 20 years, and I want to tell you something that took me far too long to start saying out loud to my clients. Some of the shampoos sitting on pet store shelves right now, with beautiful labels, wonderful smells, and words like soothing and natural on the bottle, contain ingredients I would never, ever let touch my own dog's skin. And here's the part that gets me. It's not the neglectful owners whose dogs end up with these problems. It's the loving ones, the ones who bathe their dogs regularly, who buy the nice-smelling shampoo, who think they're doing the right thing, because nobody ever told them what's actually in that bottle. So today, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to walk you through the ingredients I refuse to use, why your dog is far more vulnerable to them than you are, and how to read a label like a vet instead of like a shopper. And near the end, I'll share the one marketing trick on shampoo bottles that fools almost everybody. I've even seen it fool other professionals. Stick with me here. This is one of those videos that might genuinely change something in your home this week. Before we get to the ingredients, you need to understand one thing about your dog, because once you do, everything else in this video is going to click into place. Your skin and your dog's skin are built completely differently. Human skin has somewhere around 10 to 15 layers of cells standing between the outside world and your bloodstream. Your dog, 3 to 5. That's it. Their skin barrier is dramatically thinner than yours. Now think about what that means. Whatever you rub into that coat, whatever sits on that skin while you lather and scrub, has a much shorter trip into your dog's body than it would into yours. Chemicals that your skin might shrug off can pass through your dog's skin faster and in higher concentrations. And there's a second difference that most people have never heard of. Your skin is acidic. It sits at a pH of around 5.5. Your dog's skin is closer to neutral, sometimes even slightly alkaline. That's why human shampoo, yes, even the expensive salon stuff, even baby shampoo, is simply wrong for a dog. It's formulated for an acidity their skin doesn't have. Use it regularly, and you strip their protective barrier, dry them out, and open the door to irritation and infection. But here's the piece that really changes how you see bath time. When you rinse off, you're done. When your dog rinses off, they lick. They groom themselves with their tongue, which means every bit of residue left in that coat after a bath, every preservative, every fragrance chemical, every cleansing agent, eventually takes a second route into their body, straight through their mouth into their digestive system. So when someone says, "It's just shampoo," I want you to hear what I hear. It's a chemical mixture applied to the thinnest skin in your household on the one family member who licks it off afterward. Now let's talk about what's actually in some of these bottles. Let me ask you something. When you bathe your dog, do you judge the shampoo by how well it lathers? Big, rich, foamy suds. Feels like it's working, right? That lather comes primarily from a family of detergents called sulfates. On the label, you'll see names like sodium lauryl sulfate or sodium laureth sulfate, SLS and SLES for short. They're in everything from dish soap to garage floor degreasers, and they're in a lot of dog shampoos for one reason. They're cheap and they foam like crazy. Here's the problem. Sulfates don't know the difference between dirt and the natural oils your dog's skin produces to protect itself. They strip everything, and when you strip those oils bath after bath, you get dryness, flaking, itching, and a damaged skin barrier that lets irritants and allergens in more easily. I can't tell you how many mystery itching cases I've seen over the years where the mystery ended the moment we changed the shampoo. And I want you to notice something the next time you're in the pet aisle. That word, coconut derived, on the front of the bottle. Some manufacturers use it to describe these very same sulfate detergents because part of the manufacturing process starts with coconut oil. It sounds natural. It isn't. Remember that trick, because it's a cousin of the bigger one I'm going to expose in a few minutes. Next up, a word you may have seen on your own products: parabens. Methylparaben, propylparaben, anything ending in paraben. These are preservatives. Their job is to keep the shampoo from growing bacteria and mold on the shelf, which sounds reasonable enough. The concern is what they do after they're absorbed. Parabens are what scientists call endocrine disruptors, chemicals that can mimic hormones, particularly estrogen, and interfere with the body's own hormonal signaling. Research has confirmed that parabens absorb readily through intact skin. And remember what we said about your dog's skin: thinner, more permeable, faster absorption. Now layer on the licking, and the fact that your dog may get bathed with the same product month after month for their entire life. Small exposures repeated for years into a body 1/10 your size. For me, the math on that never worked. There are excellent preservative alternatives that don't behave like hormones, so when I see parabens on a label, that bottle goes back on the shelf. All right. This next one is the ingredient I get the most animated about, because it's not really one ingredient at all. Look at a shampoo label and find the word fragrance. One little word. Here's what most people don't know. Under current labeling rules, that single word is allowed to stand in for an entire proprietary blend, potentially dozens or even hundreds of separate chemicals that the manufacturer never has to disclose. Not to you, not to me, not to anyone. It's a legally protected mystery box. And what tends to hide inside that box? Frequently, a family of chemicals called phthalates, used to make scents cling and last longer. Phthalates have been linked in published research to hormone disruption, respiratory irritation, and developmental concerns. These are chemicals also used to soften plastics, and they're riding into your dog's coat inside a word as innocent sounding as fragrance. Now here's the part that makes this genuinely unfair to dogs. Your dog's sense of smell is thousands upon thousands of times more sensitive than yours. That fresh meadow breeze scent that smells pleasant to you from a foot away, your dog wears it on their own body at point-blank range from the most powerful nose in your house for days. I've seen dogs act genuinely stressed after baths, and owners assume it's the water. Sometimes I truly believe it's the perfume they can't escape. A lightly scented dog isn't a cleaner dog, it's just a dog wearing chemicals. If a scent lingers strongly for days after the bath, that's not a feature, that's a flag. I remember the first time I told a client there might be formaldehyde in her dog's shampoo. She laughed. She thought I was joking. Formaldehyde, the embalming chemical, in shampoo? I wish I'd been joking. Formaldehyde, and, more commonly, formaldehyde-releasing preservatives are used in some grooming products to extend shelf life. You'll almost never see the word formaldehyde printed on the bottle. Instead, you'll see names like DMDM-hydantoin or imidazolidinyl urea, ingredients that slowly release small amounts of formaldehyde over time to keep the product preserved. The United States government classifies formaldehyde as a carcinogen. On skin, these releasers are known to trigger allergic reactions and irritation, blistering, dryness, relentless itching in sensitive dogs. And because the names on the label sound like random chemistry class vocabulary, virtually no shopper ever catches them. So here's a rule I give my clients, and I'll give it to you. If the ingredient list reads like something you'd need a chemistry degree to pronounce, and the product isn't something your vet specifically prescribed, be suspicious. Speaking of which, one quick note. Medicated shampoos are their own category. If your veterinarian prescribes one for a specific condition, that's a supervised medical decision. Use it as directed. Everything I'm describing today is about the everyday off-the-shelf bottles. Earlier, I promised you the one marketing trick that fools nearly everybody, including people who should know better. Here it is. The words natural and organic on a pet shampoo bottle are, and I need you to really hear this, legally meaningless. In the pet product world, there is no regulation, no certification requirement, no watchdog standing behind those words. A manufacturer can print natural in big green letters across the front of a bottle whose ingredient list contains sulfates, parabens, synthetic fragrance, and formaldehyde-releasing preservatives. Nothing stops them. It happens constantly. And it works because of something psychologists call the halo effect. The green leafy label, the word natural, the picture of oatmeal and aloe on the front, it creates a feeling of safety that quietly stops us from flipping the bottle over. The front of the bottle is marketing. The back of the bottle is the truth. The entire trick depends on you never turning it around. There's even a phrase to watch for on the back: proprietary blend of coat and skin conditioners. If a company won't tell you what's in the bottle, that is your answer about whether it belongs on your dog. And while we're here, tear-free deserves a mention too. Some older tear-free formulas didn't prevent irritation at all. They included mild numbing agents so the sting simply wasn't felt. Masking a warning signal isn't the same as removing the danger. Think about that one for a second. Even veterinarian recommended has no standard legal definition. One veterinarian one time saying something nice, like, that can be enough to print it. I'm a vet telling you that, so believe me when I say the phrase alone means very little. Now, I don't want to leave you standing paralyzed in the pet aisle, afraid of every bottle. So let me make this simple. Here's how I choose a shampoo for my own dog in 4 quick checks. First, I flip the bottle. Always. The front doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. If there's no full ingredient list at all, that's an instant no. Second, I scan for my red flag families. Sulfates, anything with lauryl sulfate or laureth sulfate. Anything ending in paraben, the standalone word fragrance, and those formaldehyde releasers, DMDM hydantoin, imidazolidinyl urea. If a scent is listed, I want it named and plant-derived, not hidden behind one mystery word. Third, I look for the good guys. Genuinely soothing ingredients like colloidal oatmeal, aloe vera, shea butter, glycerin, and gentle plant-derived cleansers. Short lists, pronounceable names, and a formula that's pH balanced specifically for dogs. It usually says so. Fourth, and people forget this one, I rinse like it's my job. Whatever shampoo you use, even a great one, residue left in the coat is residue your dog will lick. Rinse until you're sure and then rinse a little more. That's it. 30 seconds of label reading, that's the entire skill. And once you've done it 2 or 3 times, you'll never shop the old way again. You genuinely can't unsee it. One more thing while we're on the subject of protecting your dog from everyday hidden dangers. This isn't the only place they hide. I've made a video about the everyday foods you should never feed your dog, and another on exactly what to do if your dog has heat stroke. That one covers steps that can genuinely save your dog's life in the moment. Both are on our channel, and honestly, they pair perfectly with what you've learned today. Watch them when you finish here. Let me bring this back to Carol and little Ginger because there's a happy ending. We got Ginger comfortable, her skin healed beautifully, and Carol became, I say this with love, the most dangerous label reader in her entire neighborhood. She told me a few months later that she'd checked every bottle in her house, and the shampoo she'd trusted for years had failed almost every check we just walked through together. But what she said next is the reason I made this video. She said, "Dr. Park, why doesn't anyone tell us this stuff?" And she's right. Nobody teaches this. Not at the pet store, not on the label. The label is actively working against you. Your dog can't read the ingredients, can't tell you the fragrance is overwhelming, can't explain that the itching started after bath day. They just trust you, completely, with everything they have, which means the label reading has to be our job, yours and mine. Here's what I want you to do this week. Nothing dramatic. Just go pick up your dog's shampoo bottle, turn it around, and read the back with the eyes you have now. That's it. If it passes, wonderful. You can trust your bath routine with new confidence. If it doesn't, you know exactly what to look for in its replacement. And before you go, I've been thinking about something, and I want your honest input. So many of you ask me for guidance across all of it: food, grooming, warning signs, emergencies, the senior years, everything in one place. So I've been considering putting together a complete dog care guide. Everything I'd tell you if you sat in my exam room for a full afternoon, organized so you could actually use it. If that's something you genuinely want, drop a comment below saying, "I would." That's it. Just, "I would." If enough of you raise your hands, I'll make it happen. Because at the end of the day, that's what all of this is about. Not fear, not chemistry lectures, just knowing better so we can do better. For the ones who do anything for us and ask for nothing back but a good scratch and a safe home. They trust us with everything. Let's keep earning it, starting with what's in that bottle.